Hello and welcome to History Research Methods, History 4000 for the spring, getting my semesters wrong, of 2024. I'm the professor for the class. My name is Dr. James McDonald, and what we're going to do in this video is have a short syllabus and Moodle review and just have you kind of get an orientation of the class and some of the expectations. Obviously, this is the capstone class, one of two capstone classes for the history program, either this or the internship class. And in this particular class, you are going to be engaging in a semester-long research project. So Moodle is where you go to look for the different resources and to turn in the assignments. You can see underneath kind of the orientation block, which has the course syllabus that we'll look at in a minute. You should have already gotten an email about the textbook. There's one textbook. It is online. It is a book called The Student's Guide to History, which has both some reading that is going to be pertinent to the projects that you're doing, the individual assignments, and also in the back of the book it has the correct methods by which that you do the documentation, whether that be footnotes or endnotes within your paper, and then a bibliography. So every assignment builds towards your research project, which is a 12 to 15 page paper, and you're going to have a combination of primary and secondary sources. The topic is one of your choice, but we'll get to discuss topics and make sure that we narrow them down so that they're not too broad and that they don't get out of hand rather quickly. So let's go look at least this first block. We have research resources, which include the library database. We've got some of the library guides that are specific to the discipline of history. For example, JSTOR is one that you're probably going to use because it deals with a lot of social science and history articles. We have a guide for the Cami Henry University Archives. If you want to do a Louisiana-themed research paper, that would be a place to go. And then we have the individuals that you can contact when it comes to doing your library research consultations. So week one, what you're going to see is where to complete the assignments here in Moodle. A lot of this is kind of redundant from the syllabus. In the first week, you've got the reflection assignment, and there's just a couple of short paragraphs I would want you to turn in and just kind of answer those questions you have. That's part of your overall grade in the course. So let's take a look at the syllabus. My email is there. Again, that's probably the way most of you are going to contact me. So just make sure you spell my name correctly. It's M-A-C. And so this is a class that deals with, obviously, the methodology, historiography, the history of history. And you're going to do a lot of, elements for a research paper. You're going to frame research questions. You're going to find sources, primary and secondary sources, and you're going to do the elements of the paper that are required. Thesis and an outline, a bibliography, a rough draft. You're going to also write an academic book review from a book that's on your bibliography. So the student learning objectives and outcomes are there. You can take a look at those. You see here that the book we have is the 14th edition of Jules Benjamin's A Student Guide to History. Anytime there's any other need for other resources, I'll put them up on there on Moodle. You'll also see like examples of the assignments during the course of the semester. Some of them are for my own research, but again, it connects more to what you need to do in the course of the semester. So the assignments throughout this term are a statement of your topic by which you're going to send me your paper topic, your research for the semester. You'll send a bibliography of your secondary sources. You can include primary sources as well. And you'll have a thesis, which is your argument, and your paper outlined together. So that goes together as one assignment. There'll also be a required research consultation. and you'll need to meet with one of the library faculty members, and you can do that by phone, you can do that by Teams meeting, or you can do that face-to-face. And going back, you have here in the resource section, the library research consultations. Let's pull that up as we're talking. We'll go back to the syllabus too. So you've got a number of individuals who can help you. One of them happens to be Mrs. Dr. McDonald. Anna is the head of information literacy reference, so you can set up an appointment with her. She was more than willing to do a Teams meeting where she can share the screen and go through the individual databases and places where you need to find your information. Dr. Lowe is the head of libraries. You can, as an option, speak with her as well. And I also listed Miss Donna Baker, who is the archivist and will be extremely helpful when it comes to doing anything within our archives, or if you want to do something that is Louisiana related. So those are some folks you can talk to, and that is a required assignment because I want to make sure that you have completed this, because it's not just for fun, it's for helping you complete your research. And some folks in the past have consulted these faculty members multiple times, and that's fine. You know, they are not going to research for you. You will set up an appointment with them at their convenience, and they will be able to guide you through the places which you can get the resources that you need. The third assignment is a book review, and you're going to pick the book, but I have a requirement that it needs to be a book on your bibliography. So if you're doing, a topic on Louisiana and all of a sudden you want to review a book on World War II in Europe, well, not really super useful. So you're going to have to make sure that you do a book review of a book, and it needs to be approved by me in advance. So there'll be drop boxes for that. You'll be able to just drop the name of the book, and I'll just make sure that's approved, that it isn't something that features illustrations or is anything that isn't considered an academic work. You have 2 reflection assignments. The first is in the first week, obviously, and then at the end, where you can kind of take stock of everything in the semester. And then you have the research project. So we want to aim for a research paper of 15 pages. You should have at least 3 primary sources, and if you're not sure of the difference, you should know by now, primary sources, obviously, diaries, letters, anything that was written by the individual or individuals you might be talking about from the primary source, meaning that they wrote it. Secondary sources are books about a subject. So you're going to have the majority of your sources will be secondary sources, and that's okay. And we have, again, a minimum of primary and secondary sources for your research. Also, you will submit your assignments in Moodle. And usually I also make you go through Turnitin. Again, it's pretty obvious at this point, but you should all know that any kind of AI, artificial intelligence, any kind of copying, it constitutes plagiarism, and that will result in a 0 for the assignment. So don't do that. But all of you, I'm sure, know by now. Okay. The evaluation of your grade kind of breaks down this way. You can look at it in the syllabus in more detail at your convenience. Obviously, the final draft is a plurality or more points than any other of your grade, but you also have some other elements. So this is a weighted assignments, so take that in consideration. I'll grade all of your work as it gets turned in. University policies are here as well, and hopefully you see them in every single syllabus in all of your classes. And that comes with, of course, any links or any information that you might need. The course schedule is here. I've usually put the assignments in red so you don't miss them, but they're also in Moodle. You'll also see scattered through here video tutorials. The first one deals with how to narrow down your research topic. They're all labeled, and you'll find them in Moodle. We're not doing a face-to-face class, and so I'm trying to substitute for lessons with assigned ratings, the actual assignments, and then me going through and demonstrating how you complete those assignments. So let's go back to Moodle really quick, and I can show you how that looks. In week 2, you're going to do the video tutorial, which is right here. I've loaded most of these now up into YouTube because it's pretty easy. They also have subtitles, and it makes it easier semester to semester. I will say one thing about these tutorials. Sometimes you'll see an outline that goes with it, and that outline, if I've recorded this tutorial in an earlier semester, it's going to have a due date from an earlier semester. So just go by what you see in the syllabus and Moodle. Okay, so week 2, you've got a tutorial, and again, take advantage of this. They're not, particularly long, and hopefully they're very useful. In week 2, you can see that you've got your paper topic, and it's just a simple drop box where you can click on and just briefly write. And what I like about this particular way we do the assignment is that I'll be able to comment on it. We'll tell you how to talk about and narrow down your research for the semester. Obviously, we don't want to see papers that talk about World War II. That's obviously too broad. So again, I know it's kind of a little bit intimidating. You're writing a 12, 15-page paper and you want the topic to be very big, but you can't handle a lot of these topics in a relatively short paper. So keep that in mind, and the tutorials in the semester will help and guide you in all of that. You also have the library research consultation. So this is linked here in Moodle ahead of when it's due. So click on that, know what you need to do, and then you complete, like a discussion board, the research consultation. Pretty straightforward. Week 2, we've got a couple of more tutorials. One is how to do a research strategy, and another is a tutorial on drafting the bibliography. And so when I talk sometimes with the video tutorial, I'll be talking with an outline. If you want to see the outline, you can click it right here. And also mixed in with an outline of what is in the tutorial, I've also got an example of your assignment. So for example, here's a sample bibliography. You click on that, and you can see I kind of cut and pasted a bibliography from some of the research I've done. So it's very relatable that way, I hope. And the research consultation, you'll just kind of answer like a discussion post. So this kind of tells you everything you need to do. The difference between the syllabus and Moodle is, obviously in Moodle, it's where you go to complete things. But this has the same kind of information here in the syllabus, so you can go back and forth that way. You see that going forward, you've got the bibliography, and also, it's not a free-for-all this semester, so you'll see that I've set it up so that you can't turn in your bibliography until you do the research consultation. So you have to have that done. So going forward, we know that you've spoken to one of the librarians. So I'm not going to go through every week, but I have, examples of the assignments that you'll have to do. Here's the title page for the book review. There's another on how to do note-taking and how to write the book review, along with a sample book review that comes from an academic journal. So all of that ahead of time, right? And then the book to be reviewed, you're going to drop right there. So pretty straightforward. Just follow along in the course of the semester. I'm not going to go through, obviously, the whole Moodle shell because we'll be going into some detail. You'll also see probably during the course of the semester, when you go into a particular week, there might be what I call the pop-up Dr. McDonald. Moodle allows me to put a couple of short videos in there, and just you'll see me probably from Dr. McDonald's Study Central here, and I'll just be reminding you of some of the assignments that you've got going forward in a particular week, just to check in with everybody. So glad to have you in the course. Best wishes this semester. Enjoy it. Start thinking about your paper topic. You can send it to me now if you want to. We can start maybe even honing it down a little bit more and getting some focus to it. So I look forward to seeing your work this semester, and have a great spring 2024.